In this episode, we're going to talk about how to bring more love and compassion into your brain and into your thoughts. I'm going to share one of my favorite things to tell myself that has me being in agreement with my brain rather than constantly fighting it. You ready? Let's do it. Hello, you are listening to the Love Your Life as a Performer podcast. I'm Kelly Youngman, and I am the life coach for performers. I help actors, singers, and dancers love themselves and their lives way more. So keep listening to learn how you can love your life both on and off the stage. Hello, and welcome back to episode 33 of the Love Your Life as a Performer podcast. I have been really just enjoying witnessing my brain the past couple of weeks and seeing how I've had my back through some unexpected life circumstances. And when I feel like fully ready to share and talk about it on the podcast, I will. But what I will say and share is that it is possible for two things to be true at once. It is possible to hold space for all of your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts. And again, just like allow yourself to feel those things and still hold space for what is to come. Right? Like it really just is so possible to hold space for grief and joy, to hold space for disappointment and excitement. And when we are doing that more of the time, what happens is that you start having more space, more capacity to trust yourself and to, I know we've talked about it on the podcast before, but really to remove the wrongness, the perceived wrongness of the experience you're having, and just offer yourself so much freaking love and compassion. And I think that's what I want to talk about today on the podcast. I actually just attended one of my friend's workshops. She's also a coach. Shout out to Saren. But she was talking about just the value of offering yourself loving compassion. And I just thought that was such a beautiful reminder because we know that, right? We know that we can offer ourselves that love and compassion. And are we actually slowing down to give ourselves that first? And I know that for me, like, again, in navigating certain circumstances in my life right now, it's been so fun to watch myself just love myself so much, to be really understanding of the thoughts, the feelings, the sort of back and forthness of my brain and decisions, and to, again, not make any of it wrong, but to also reassure myself that it makes total sense, right? I think that's something that I work with my clients on a lot, is looking at, like, of course it feels that way when your brain is offering those specific thoughts. Of course it feels that way when you've been thinking and feeling a certain way for X amount of time, right? Like, of course your brain is going to feel uncomfortable if you're telling yourself you had a bad audition and you're never going to work again, right? It's just like, of course. And not everything that our brain tells us is true, right? And when we're meeting our own brains with so much love for what they are trying to protect us from, what our thoughts are trying to create and solve for, then we can just really lean into the love and compassion for ourselves, for our thoughts, for our human emotions that are arising, right? And for example, today I actually went to my first EPA, like actually, is that true? I think it's true. Post-pandemic, or like now sort of in this like navigating COVID world, right? Like the new procedures and the time slots and like the specific call times for your group X, Y, and Z. I just hadn't experienced that, and showing up as an alternate, and again, just like the process of now attending an EPA. And it was so interesting because even though the stakes felt low, like I had decided earlier today how I wanted to think, how I wanted to feel, who I was going to be going into that room and how I wanted to feel coming out of it. I was very intentional and, mentally rehearsed and all of the things. I set myself up for success, and my body still had this like very visceral reaction to like standing in line with my book, waiting to sing. It was very interesting to watch my body start, reacting to the circumstance. So my heart started beating fast, and I could tell that I was like thinking and worried a little bit of like if I was going to remember my words. I was singing a song that I feel very comfortable with, yet I haven't sang it in the room in a little bit. So it was like, again, all of a sudden my brain was like panicking of like, oh my gosh, are you going to remember the words? Do you know the song? And it was like activating all of these nerves in my body, right? And I feel like from conversations that I've had with performers and, even just thinking about myself in the past, I would have been like really hard on myself of like, get it together, Kelly. This isn't new. This isn't the first time you're singing. You know what to do. Like, grow the fuck up. I don't know. That's pretty harsh, but it's like, get your shit together, right? Like, get your shit together. Pull it together. Like, you're not an amateur anymore. Like, you should be good at auditioning. And like, I feel like we go to that place where we want to be so critical of ourselves, which creates so much more resistance to whatever is happening, right? Versus like now implementing the work that I've done with coaching, it's like really creating the space to have the awareness of like, oh, okay. Hey, body, you're having a reaction to the idea of going into the audition room to sing. And that's totally okay. That's totally normal. Of course, your body is reacting this way. Like, of course, your body is bringing up the panic and the nerves and the anxiety that it normally associates with auditioning, right? And it's like, that's totally okay. You can all be here. I love you. I got you. And either way, we're going to do it. Either way, in about 2 more minutes, we're going to walk into this room. You're going to put your book down. You're going to give the tempo and you're going to sing. And so it's like, let's just be on the same team. It's totally normal and natural that you feel this way. It's not a problem. I totally get it. Of course you feel this way. And like, what do I want to be thinking? Who do I want to be? How do I want to be feeling? Even with this discomfort, to give myself the best possible chances of what I want to accomplish, of what I want to achieve. And so it's been so fun, right? Because when I'm willing to witness, when I'm willing to slow down, when I'm willing to hold space for what's coming up without making it wrong, right? One, you get to be with your body. You get to calm your nervous system down. You can hold space for that experience, and you can still find the feeling, the thoughts, the intentional identity that you want to have going into the room, or in whatever example, right? It could also be like when you're in class and you're like, you're about to go and your group's going, and then all of a sudden the videographer comes in and you're like, oh, fuck, I can't mess up now, right? But like holding space for like, either way, like whatever I do now is going to be great. And like, no matter what happens, I'm going to offer myself love and compassion, right? It's like, oh, my brain wants to shame me for this decision I'm making because it wants to like conveniently remind me of all the ways things have gone wrong in the past. Like, of course, my brain wants to do that to prevent me from making a mistake. Of course, my brain wants to avoid feeling like a failure. Like, of course. And I love you, brain. And I have so much compassion for what's coming up. And it's really okay. right? So it's like being aware of the thoughts that you're having and then choosing intentionally, no matter what, to really meet yourself with love and compassion. Because most of the time, what I see a lot of my clients do, and myself too, is like our brain wants to go into the problem solving. It's like, God damn it, why are you thinking and feeling this way again? This isn't how you're supposed to be feeling. Wrong, so wrong. Get out of here, skedaddle. Let's jump. Can we skip to the good part, right? It's like, can we just jump over there and be in the better feeling place, or the air quote right place, have the right reaction, have the right response. And it's like so much judgment of the experience, right? But it's like, gosh, you should know better by now. You should have figured this out by now. You should be further along. You should have, created this change already. And like that isn't the love and compassion that creates the space to even create a new result. Because again, in that feeling, there's just so much judgment and shame and embarrassment and, whatever else comes up for you that like keeps us disconnected from who we really are. It keeps us disconnected from the truth of knowing that this is just part of the process. This is just what brains are designed to do, and nothing's gone wrong, right? When we invite in the love and compassion and we're not perceiving where we are as wrong, there's just so much more space to have access to different possibilities, to new outcomes, to like actually understand what our thoughts and our body and our feelings and emotions are even trying to communicate. Because really that is like, I tell my clients all the time, that's where all the gold is. In the resistance, in the judgment, in the thoughts, in the discomfort, that resistance, those obstacles are the way. And when we meet those obstacles, whether they're literal circumstances or our thoughts about the circumstance, we can have space to make a new choice. We can have space to feel the way we want to feel, whether it's empowered or excited or in control or certain, right? To keep moving forward in a way that serves us without feeling like we have to just keep creating more of the same, because we're just telling ourselves over and over again in some variation that we can't, we're not good enough, we can't figure it out, like there's something wrong with us, right? And like those thoughts are what create the discomfort and the judgment that keeps us out of alignment, that doesn't give us access to our whole brain, all of our creativity, and all of the possible solutions and outcomes that can manifest in any given moment, right? Like we've talked about this a lot, but like life is choices. And when you are willing to hold space for whatever experience is happening without making it wrong, again, you just have access to higher level thinking, feeling, and being that is going to create a different outcome. So that's what I want to give you this week. Just start noticing. Are you genuinely offering yourself love and compassion? Are you offering and meeting your brain with love and compassion? Or are you making your brain wrong? Are you making your thoughts wrong? Are you making your feelings wrong? Right? Like, again, try it on for yourself and find what feels good. But like, I really love the thought, like, of course you feel this way. Of course you feel this way, brain. We're about to do something new. We're about to do something that you perceive as scary. We're about to take a risk. We're about to take a leap. We're about to do something different. Of course it feels unfamiliar and unsafe. Of course, you're going to try to stop me. Of course, you're going to say these thoughts out of fear and, out of the unknown. And of course, you're going to tell me over and over again that I don't know what to do. I'm not ready. I don't know. Right? And it's like, of course, you're going to say that, brain. And you can invite yourself to meet your brain, your thoughts with so much love and compassion, which will create the safety to start honoring your body and processing your feelings and being present with yourself as you then start creating the safety to choose something new, to do something different. And this also might be coming up for you right now. As you know, applications are open for the paradigm, and your brain might be bumping up the same kinds of thoughts and fears and feelings that are just your brain's habitual way of thinking and making decisions, right? If you've never invested in coaching before, if you've never spent money on yourself in this way to do the inner work, of course, it's going to feel scary. Of course, it's going to feel risky, right? And you can meet yourself with so much love and compassion and still hold space for the excitement and the, curiosity of making a different choice and actually filling out the application and deciding that you can have the career that you want to have and that you could start a business or make the money or have a side career or a parallel source of income that feels really good as you're actively pursuing your performing career, right? Like, this is where you get to start honoring that. What if it's actually possible for me to have everything I want? And of course, my brain is going to offer me thoughts, feelings, suggestions, reminders of all my failures as I'm about to do something new and different. And I can hold so much love and compassion for myself in that experience and still know that it's okay to want something new. It's okay to want something different. And it's okay to believe in what's possible, right? Even before what's possible is manifested or here in the literal present moment, right? We have to be willing to believe in order to keep moving towards the things that we desire. Like, whether it is your dream job or moving or investing in yourself, it just is always going to present thoughts, feelings, emotions in your body to really have you stay safe, to stay exactly where you are. And it's not a problem, right? And so take this into the week with you. What does it look like to offer yourself love and compassion, right? What does it look like to not down talk or belittle or, just say all of the insults in your brain and instead try on, of course, my brain is saying this. Of course you feel this way. Let me hear and understand and sit with you and feel into why my brain is saying this. And let me just remind it that we're safe, we're good, and it's okay to make a new choice. Honestly, this level of love and compassion in your brain for yourself first literally is going to change so much of your life and how you show up for others and just what you're believing is possible. Because again, when you're not belittling yourself or questioning yourself or doubting yourself or, making it a problem on top of that when it's happening, you're just going to have so much more brain space to put your energy towards the things that you do want. And this is a huge part of the work that we do together in the paradigm because it is just how brains operate. And having someone outside of you to show you what your brain is doing, to help you understand and find the thoughts you're having that you don't even realize your brain is presenting, it's just invaluable. It gives you such a different perspective. And I swear, every time I get coached, I discover something new about myself that I can just take and run with and explore and release. And it only ever propels me towards what I want with more safety and more love and compassion for myself as I'm going through the experience, as I'm bumping up against my own limits and the discomfort of oh, I want more and that's safe. I want more and that's amazing. And I can just decide to go for all of that, which of course is going to bring up my own discomfort and my own thoughts and, past identities and all of it. It's just not a problem. So that's what I got for you this week. Really listen to your brain, become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking on a regular basis, and let's infuse some additional love and compassion into your process. All right. Applications close on Friday, March 24th for early enrollment of the July 2023 class. And you can go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/apply to fill out your application today. You will find out by Monday, March 27th, the latest, about acceptance. And that's it. I'll meet you back here for another episode. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, make sure to share it with a friend who is also an actor, singer, or dancer. You can also help spread the word by leaving us a review wherever you listen to podcasts in order to help people find this resource. Lastly, you can find me on Instagram at Kelly Youngman Wellness, and if you're interested in coaching, make sure to head to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/waitlist to join my list now. See you soon.